Emergency management and homeland security are fields fraught with complexity. These fields demand a delicate balance of ethical considerations, legal parameters, and political realities. From natural disasters to pandemics, emergency situations require swift and decisive action. However, these actions must always be grounded in ethical principles, adhere to legal frameworks, and navigate the often turbulent waters of political influence. This intricate interplay of ethics, law, and politics forms the bedrock of effective emergency management. It ensures that responses are not only timely and efficient, but also just, equitable, and aligned with the values of a democratic society. Understanding the dynamic relationship between these three pillars is paramount for professionals operating within this demanding field. This essay delves into the ethical obligations of emergency management professionals, emphasizing the paramount importance of integrity, fairness, and accountability. It examines the legal frameworks that underpin emergency response, including declarations of emergency, resource allocation, and the protection of civil liberties. Furthermore, the essay analyzes the undeniable influence of political factors on resource distribution and decision-making processes during crises. By dissecting the complex interplay of ethics, law, and politics, this essay aims to illuminate the path toward a more robust, transparent, and equitable approach to emergency management, one that prioritizes the well-being and dignity of all those affected while upholding the principles of justice and accountability. At the heart of effective emergency management lies a steadfast commitment to ethical conduct. Professionals in this field bear a weighty responsibility. They make life-altering decisions under immense pressure. Their actions, often taken in the face of chaos and uncertainty, have profound and lasting impacts on individuals, communities, and the nation as a whole. Ethical considerations serve as a moral compass, guiding decision-making and shaping responses that prioritize the well-being and dignity of all those affected. Fairness, integrity, and accountability constitute the bedrock of ethical conduct in emergency management. Fairness dictates that resources, aid, and assistance are distributed equitably without discrimination based on race, religion, gender, socioeconomic status, or any other arbitrary factor. Integrity demands transparency and honesty in all actions, ensuring that decisions are made with the utmost regard for ethical principles and are justifiable to the public. Accountability necessitates taking responsibility for one's actions and decisions, acknowledging mistakes, and implementing corrective measures to prevent future occurrences. Navigating the complexities of emergency management requires a thorough understanding of the legal frameworks that govern this domain. These legal parameters provide the ground rules for action, outlining the powers and limitations of authorities during emergencies. They ensure that responses are conducted within the bounds of law, safeguarding the rights and freedoms of individuals while enabling effective crisis management. Emergency declarations, for instance, are often governed by specific legal provisions. These provisions delineate the circumstances under which such declarations can be made. They also outline the extraordinary powers that are granted to government entities during such periods. Understanding these legal triggers and the scope of authority they confer is crucial for both emergency managers and the public they serve. Resource allocation, another critical aspect of emergency management, is also subject to legal scrutiny. Laws and regulations often dictate how resources should be prioritized and distributed during emergencies, aiming to ensure fairness and prevent arbitrary or discriminatory practices. Furthermore, legal frameworks play a vital role in protecting civil rights during emergencies. While extraordinary measures may be necessary to address the crisis at hand, these measures must not infringe upon fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution. While ethical principles and legal frameworks provide a moral and legal compass for emergency management, political factors inevitably come into play. The allocation of resources, often scarce during emergencies, is rarely immune to political considerations. Decision-making processes, even in the midst of crises, can be influenced by political agendas, constituencies, and the desire to appease certain groups. The political landscape can significantly impact how resources are prioritized and distributed. Areas with powerful political representation may receive preferential treatment, while marginalized communities may face challenges in accessing essential aid and support. The politicization of disaster response can exacerbate existing inequalities and undermine the principles of fairness and equity that underpin ethical emergency management. Political factors can also shape the public narrative surrounding emergencies, influencing public perception and impacting the level of support for specific policies or actions. Understanding the interplay between politics and emergency management is crucial for professionals navigating this complex terrain, as it enables them to anticipate challenges, mitigate potential conflicts, and advocate for equitable and just outcomes. Public health emergencies, such as pandemics, present a unique set of challenges that highlight the intricate interplay of ethics, law, and politics in emergency management. These events often necessitate a delicate balancing act between individual rights and the collective good, as measures taken to protect public health may infringe upon personal freedoms. Ethical dilemmas abound in public health emergencies. Decisions regarding quarantine measures, restrictions on movement, and the allocation of scarce medical resources such as vaccines, ventilators, and hospital beds raise profound ethical questions about fairness, justice, and the protection of vulnerable populations. Legal frameworks, while essential for guiding responses, may not always provide clear-cut answers to the novel and complex challenges posed by public health emergencies. Existing laws may need to be interpreted or adapted to fit these specific circumstances, potentially leading to legal challenges and disputes. Political considerations often loom large during public health emergencies as governments grapple with balancing public health imperatives with economic concerns and individual liberties. The politicization of public health measures can erode public trust, hinder response efforts, and exacerbate the spread of disease. Public health emergencies often lead to a surge in demand for limited resources, forcing difficult decisions about how to allocate these resources fairly and ethically. When the need outweighs the supply, ethical frameworks can provide guidance in prioritizing the allocation of life-saving resources, ensuring that decisions are grounded in principles of justice and equity. One widely accepted ethical framework for resource allocation in such scenarios is the principle of save the most lives. This approach prioritizes interventions that are likely to save the highest number of lives, maximizing the overall benefit of scarce resources. Another ethical consideration is the concept of fair innings, which suggests that everyone has a right to a reasonable lifespan. This principle recognizes that while saving lives is paramount, it is also important to consider the life years that are potentially gained through medical interventions. Maintaining public trust is paramount in emergency management. Trust is essential for ensuring compliance with public health directives, fostering cooperation, and enabling effective responses. Transparency and accountability are crucial for building and maintaining this trust. Transparency requires open and honest communication with the public, providing timely and accurate information about the nature of the emergency, the rationale behind decisions, and the actions being taken. Transparency helps to dispel rumors, allay fears, and build public confidence in the response efforts. Accountability mechanisms are essential for holding individuals and institutions responsible for their actions. This includes establishing clear lines of authority, conducting thorough investigations into any missteps or misconduct, and implementing corrective measures to prevent future occurrences. Section 8. The role of training, preparing for ethical dilemmas. Preparing emergency management professionals to navigate the complex ethical, legal, and political terrain of their work requires robust training programs. These programs should equip individuals with the knowledge, skills, and ethical reasoning abilities necessary to make sound judgments under pressure. Ethics training should be an integral part of emergency management curricula, providing a framework for ethical decision-making and addressing common ethical dilemmas encountered in the field. Simulations and scenario-based exercises can provide valuable opportunities for individuals to apply ethical principles in realistic settings, enhancing their preparedness for real-world challenges. Section 9, Future Practices towards a more ethical and effective response. Looking ahead, emergency management practices must evolve to address the increasingly complex challenges posed by a rapidly changing world. Integrating ethical considerations into all aspects of emergency management is not merely an option, but an imperative. Future practices should prioritize equity and fairness in all aspects of emergency response, ensuring that resources are allocated and distributed in a manner that benefits all segments of society, regardless of socioeconomic status, race, ethnicity, or any other arbitrary factor. Furthermore, fostering a culture of transparency and accountability is crucial for building public trust and ensuring the legitimacy of emergency management institutions. This includes embracing open communication, promoting public engagement, and establishing robust mechanisms for oversight and accountability. Section 10, Conclusion and Integrated Approach for a Safer Future. In conclusion, navigating the complex interplay of ethics, law, and politics in emergency management is an ongoing challenge. There are no easy answers or one-size-fits-all solutions. However, by embracing ethical principles, adhering to legal frameworks, and acknowledging the influence of political factors, emergency management professionals can strive to create a safer and more equitable future for all. Integrating these three pillars into all aspects of emergency management is not simply a matter of compliance, but a fundamental obligation. It is a commitment to ensuring that responses to crises are not only effective, but also just, equitable, and aligned with the values of a democratic society. As we move forward, it is essential to remember that the ultimate goal of emergency management is not merely to respond to crises, but to mitigate their impact, build resilience, and protect the well-being of all members of society. Section 11, References. No references were provided for this essay.